Me and my girlfriend recently got a electric scale to use for cooking, and I try to use it to like get exact measurements for like the matcha powder and the water. It failed. I gave up. I was trying to like do like exact number like that I found online, but then I just like overfilled it. Like the powder is a little bit easier, but the water, once the water is in the cup, I can't take it back out. So kind of just went with vibes. So is the milk. I just, if it tastes a little bit sweet, I think that's good enough. Today is a bit of a gloomier Monday. I don't know what is wrong with the area right now. There's a bit of a weird air quality thing happening, and maybe it's just stormy, but no rain for some reason. Today I also kind of woke up a little bit earlier, like 8 a.m. 8 a.m. is pretty early for me because I had to get my car windshield repaired, so I went to take it to the shop. A lot of fucking money for that shit. It's been 3 months since I graduated from university, and for context, I graduated with an engineering degree. And rather than taking the standard path of getting an engineering job and a good salary, I decided to, go all into content creating because that's my dream and passion. And I feel like summer, or I guess like 3 months of summer, it's like a time period where people really tend to romanticize and say like, oh, like this summer I logged in and grew 10 million thousand subscribers on YouTube. And it shows like their progress report and like how much they did throughout that 3 months and stuff. And in the contrary of those type of creators that actually made it, I am pretty stagnant. As of recording this video, I have 55 subscribers on YouTube, 54 followers on Instagram, and 65 followers on TikTok. And I remember that at the top of my head. Now I can go on and on about how I feel depressed that my social media presence isn't growing and that I feel like I'm just wasting my time not doing anything meaningful, and I feel like everything is, the world is going against me or whatever, something. But I recognize that growth is different for everyone, and just because I'm having a slow growth right now, this doesn't mean that there's gonna be no growth in the future. Does that even make sense? So breaking all rules and social norms in the internet, I'm gonna tell you the 3 things that I learned for the 3 months I've been a full-time creative. Shall we? You don't get the joke. I'm pretending that we're on a date because like we're gonna talk.
My dream date. Cute.
So lesson number 1 that I learned as a creative. Being a creative is hard. Now I know this can sound like some small creator who's failing to grow and is gonna be like, well, I can't grow, it's too hard. That's exactly right. And the hardest part of being a creative isn't the actual creating process, like the video making process. It's actually how to present it online. I'm sure we're all familiar with the idea of clickbaiting, interesting title, attention grabbing hooks from like short forms. I feel like all of that is kind of in the category of human psychology and just like marketing in general. And as a beginner creator, you don't really think about that much because all you think about is like, oh, I want to be a creative, so I just want to make the thing I want to make and I want to share it to the world. And that's great and all, because that's what passion should root from. It should come from a place where you're most passionate about and creating something that you truly feel special for. But sadly, the internet does not care about your feelings. And what really matters is that even if you have an interesting idea, if people don't watch it, then it's just not gonna get any views. And as much as I would want to just kind of like stick to what I'm doing and be in this like very genuine state where it's not like super clickbaity and it's not super like attention grabbing and like a little bit brain rot, if I want to be able to share my ideas and share the motivation for wanting to become a creative. You kind of have to give in to the fact that sometimes you have to do stuff that you don't really want to do. And that includes being a little bit of a sellout. Now, it'd be really funny if I had a sponsor for this video and do a sponsored part right here, but I don't. But I think I'm learning more and more that if I want to have my video to reach into the algorithm, I need to be able to capture people's attention very early on. And I always hated that idea because I feel like you should be able to just share your genuine self without having to be a sellout, without having to like be all obnoxious and attention grabbing, and still be able to share your passion. And I don't mean to sound too pessimistic, but I think I kind of have to let go of that part of me a little bit. And if I keep holding on to that, I think I'm being a little bit too stubborn. And I feel like the most important thing that you can be as a creative or anything is you have flexibility. You need to be willing to make changes even if you're not really into it too much. It's just milk. It's not even alcohol. Now let us transfer to my office and look what we have here. Hello. So cute. Now lesson number 2. In contrary, what big creators will tell small creators as advice when they're getting started. Gear does matter. Kind of. My bank account is in the 2 digits. So I can't just like willy-nilly spend on gear and stuff just so that I can make my creating journey a little bit easier. But I do think having shit gear does make your life a little bit harder. And big reason I'm saying this is because of this. The tripod I'm using right now. This tripod, it's very cheap. I think it was like $10 in Amazon. And it's like made of plastic, very flimsy and unstable. And I don't know if you can tell right now, but my camera is a little bit tilted this way. Mainly because its stability is so bad that the weight of the camera makes it tilt. Now it's nice having a tripod, definitely, because I'm able to like prop my camera up and I can just talk to it. But
he's pulling his cock out!
This is the maximum height for this tripod, which is roughly 40 inches. So it comes like right here on my body. So if, for example, I wanted to talk to the camera while standing up, then I would have to put it really, really far away. Like this, for example. Or I would have to do this. So that's mainly the reason why a lot of my videos are sitting down, because that's the only good height I can get. But fret not, I decided to make an investment and buy a 74-inch tripod, which is significantly larger. Okay, so this is the next day. The tripod is here, and holy fuck, I think it's tall. And in comparison with the previous one, I mean, just like the size difference is right here. I can turn it. I can lower this little bar in the middle, and it also has a really easy mounting at the top. Bam. Camera is exactly at my eye level even when I'm standing up, and it's definitely a lot more stable, mainly because of like the mount that is right below the camera. But this will definitely add a lot more flexibility in terms of a height that I can use for cameras. And this guy, I'll probably keep it and then see if I can use it as like a spare for something else. Now some additional things, audio for example. I think this lavalier mic is a very good investment because I'm able to have pretty decent audio even if I'm physically away from the camera. The built-in audio for the camera is decent, but I would say it's like similar level to like a phone. In fact, a phone might be a little bit better. I know some people sometimes invest in like a shotgun mic to mount on top of the camera, but I think those tend to be a little bit more pricier.
Mom, give me some fucking money, please.
And now for the most important part, the camera. I can definitely say I'm super fortunate that I'm able to own this camera because my girlfriend's parents got that for me. But if I didn't own this camera, I probably would still be using my phone. And, you know, a lot of people say that like, you know, phone camera is good. You know, nowadays phone cameras are very good. Unfortunately, when you record something on a phone, you can tell it was on a phone. I don't know if it's because of like the lens size, or I don't know if it's because of the way the program is built and all that stuff. But especially if you are trying to be in like a videography side of things like I am, you probably don't want to show up with a phone. And to some degree, I do feel like it kind of goes similar with this camera. The camera I have is the Sony ZV-1F, and it is famously known to be the vlogging camera. It's a very wide lens. It's like, I think it's 20 millimeter, which is like on the lower side of things. So right now it shows a lot of like the background and the side and stuff, and I look a little bit further away because of the camera having a wide lens. I would say the downside of this camera is the fact that the lens is also fixed and you can't change it around if you want to do different like lengths and stuff. For the purposes of what I'm doing right now, which is just sitting and talking to the camera, it really does a great job. Another small downside is that the zoom on this camera isn't a true zoom, it's a digital zoom. So imagine if you took a picture and you zoomed into it, the quality drops obviously. So if I want to zoom into something, it does look a little bit choppier. But other than that, this camera has been amazing to use. It's very simple to use, and I honestly didn't really know much about like basic camera techniques, and you are able to change everything for the camera settings. The shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO, I mean, that's all you really need. And it really got me into like a good habit of like being able to mess around with camera settings depending on what the subject looks like. So as a small creative, I know you don't have much money to spend. I definitely don't. But I feel like it's a worst investment to buy something cheap than to buy something a little bit nicer for a little extra price. Like I said, I can't stand up, so I have to sit. And now, going into the last part of what I want to talk about being a creative. A lot of times, it's just all in your head. Earlier, I was kind of joking about the fact that, if progress is slow, then motivation goes down. And I think what ends up happening is that you kind of get in your head a little bit and you start overthinking. Why did my video not do good? Why did this video get little extra views? Why am I still stuck in 2-digit followers? And this is a question that every single fucking person who's trying to be a creative or like a social media presence always ask when things are not working out. And then you rely on people who acts like they know everything and give you some specific advice of like, oh, if you post on 3:26 a.m. you're going to get 3 times more views, or use my formula for hooks and storytelling scripting technique so that you can get 5 times more views. This is proven to grab the attention of the people and stuff. I'm not saying I should be comfortable with complacency, because there definitely is a lot of things that I can improve. I think the most detrimental thing that could happen to you as a creative is that you start overthinking, and overthinking leads to no progress, no productivity, because you're too scared to take the next step. You start thinking, oh, again, I want this idea to be filmed, but I feel like I'm not good enough to film this video. And what if it just doesn't look good? What if it doesn't get that many views? And what if people hate it? And it was just all for nothing. I honestly was thinking like that literally last week. Honestly, like 2 days ago. But talking to my girlfriend and some other people and my friends, it really is pointless to overthink. And what I have to keep reminding myself that I keep forgetting is that I am not perfect, and nothing I create will be perfect. So why am I trying to be perfect? Who cares if the video looks a little bit shitty? Who cares if my talking is a little bit awkward? And who cares if the video doesn't get that many views? If I keep getting stressed about the video performance and how it looks and how other people will see the video, then I feel like it's just gonna drain the fun out of the creating process. So then the question is, what's the point of being a creative if I'm not having fun? What's the point of deciding to not accept a full-time salary paying job to pursue a dream because I believe is what I would enjoy? So as much as it is a message to you, my fellow creative, but to myself, just have fun. Enjoy the process, and make sure that every video that you decide to make and post is something that you're proud of, because you worked hard on it and you're proud of it. So thank you for watching, and thank you for the continued support for the past 3 months, and I'm excited for the future, and I'm gonna do my best. And now I must give these cats nice pets.